So today I'm here with Sean Hooper. Now, Sean has been a member at the time we're recording this for 3 years, maybe a little bit longer. And that is a long time when it comes to training. And he's got a really interesting story because he had seen some results and benefits before he actually joined, but then he hopped on board looking for a little bit more. So we're going to dive into all that. We're going to cover his experience, and we're going to kind of just fill in all the gaps of his story. So Sean, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
All right, so for the people who are watching this, right, they don't know who you are. Let's kind of talk a little bit about before, what life was like, what you were doing before you actually joined Iron Core.
Okay. Well, I'm 45 years old. I'm an elementary school teacher. I basically, I just got to the point where I knew I couldn't continue. I was eating too much junk food, kind of packed on a lot of weight. It doesn't dawn on you until you see a picture one day and you say, okay, I've got to change, make some changes here. So I just started out simple. I just cut out junk food out of my diet, started going for a couple of walks a day. And that was pretty much it at first. So I lost a lot of my own just doing that, just changing my diet, going out in the morning, going out after work, going out for walks. And that got me to, pretty close to my goal. But then I realized that, okay, I'm getting close to where I'm at, but that's not going to be enough. Like I've lost some weight, but I want to keep going. I want to do some more. I want to get to the next level. And that's where I knew I needed to, look at options. I needed to figure out a place to join that I could, continue to push myself so that I didn't get lazy and kind of get tired of what I was doing and go back to, what I was doing before, which wasn't working.
So you were doing all of this on your own, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long were you in this journey on your own to get to the point that you were at?
I'd say it was maybe 8 or 9 months. I'd started maybe in the spring, and then I'd lost most of what I wanted to lose by the following New Year. And actually, I started Iron Core the very first day after New Year's. So I kind of made one of my resolutions to take the next step to. So while I was on the Christmas break, I was looking at different places online, and I decided to go to Iron Core January 2nd, right away. Right after New Year's Day, I was there the next day.
Okay, I'm going to backtrack for just a second. In those 8 or 9 months, again, just to kind of give people an idea, right? You were doing everything on your own. You got to a point you were looking for more. But just so people know, like, how much weight had you actually lost during that time frame?
I lost about 60 pounds.
Okay, that's a lot of
Yes.
weight in a short period of time.
Mhm.
That's pretty amazing. What else, just again, so people know, what else did you notice during that time? Like, obviously the weight loss, what else kind of came with that?
Just a lot of more energy, confidence. Just, you didn't feel so, like, you start feeling a little bit down on yourself about what your appearance looks like. When you see pictures of yourself, you realize, whoa, I've really let myself go here. So kind of the weight loss, kind of just a lot more energy. I play sports, so obviously I was doing a lot better playing sports. And just my overall confidence level was kind of, I felt a lot better about myself.
All right, so you hopped on board Iron Core day after New Year, right? Was that kind of just like the perfect timing? Like it was like that was the catalyst. Like you knew that time of year, and you were going to just say, all right, let's take this to another level. Or was there something that really triggered and said, okay, this is the time for me to actually really go that extra step?
I think it was a little bit of both. Like I knew I was starting to plateau, that I'd reached a level that I can keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm not going to. At this point, I've kind of leveled off. Like I'm not going to lose more weight. I'm just going to kind of stay the same. We were taking a family. All my brothers and sisters were taking a family trip to Mexico as well. So I wanted to get in a little better shape for that. So it was a little combination of plateauing. I would have done it anyway without the trip, but that kind of gave me that extra motivation. But it was more, I knew I was kind of starting to plateau, and I thought, okay, if I keep plateauing, I'm going to lose interest, and then I'm going to backtrack, and then so I need to push. I need to keep moving forward. If I keep doing the same thing, it's going to eventually stop working, or I'm just going to level
Right.
off. I'm going to lose interest, and then I'm going to be back where I started.
Now, there's a lot of places, right? A lot of gyms, a lot of things. Why Iron Core? Like, what was it that drew you in? It's like, yeah, this is the place for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard of it a little. I didn't know much about it, so I looked it up online, read some of the testimonials, read Rob's story, and what I liked about it was the half-hour classes. With being a teacher, I liked the fact that I could go in the morning before work, get my 30 minutes in, get a good workout, and still get to work. Also, I'll be honest, is I've never really set foot in a chain gym like a Good Life or a place like that. I've never really set foot in a chain. I wouldn't even know where to start. So I thought I could go into a gym, but I'd probably just walk around a little intimidated, what machine to go on, where to start, what to do. I wouldn't have had any direction. And I had a feeling that I would pay for a membership and I wouldn't use it. So I knew if I went to classes, I would have instructors who would be telling me, pushing me every step of the way, telling me what to do. So I thought this is perfect. I'm just going to do classes only. I'm not a gym guy. I didn't want to get into that gym culture and I just figured, if I could walk into a chain, I wouldn't know what machine to go on, what to do.
Right.
So I wanted to go somewhere where I thought I'd be a little more comfortable just participating in half-hour classes with other people, with an instructor there with you all the time. And it turned out to be the best decision that I ever made.
So kind of you walked in there, I'm guessing, right? Probably a little nervous, right? Because you said you weren't a gym guy. But once you got in there, what did you notice? How quickly did you start seeing like kind of what you assumed what it was going to be like? What were you noticing there?
Well, even from the very first class, Jen, the trainer, immediately goes through the basic moves with you one on one. So that was really reassuring in that they pull you aside, they teach you the basic moves before the class even starts. And then I noticed that, the other people in the class were really enjoyed being there. I mean, the workout's not easy. So I don't mean they were laughing through the workout, but they were there to encourage each other. They were there very encouraging to me, very welcoming to me right from the first day. Telling me, stick with it. Trust me, you'll love it. The first day, you're going to be a little sore. You're going to go home and say, what am I doing? But if you can get through the first few days, then you're going to be addicted and you're going to want to come every day. So just you could feel from the minute you walked in that it was it was a community more than just a gym. That's what I still like to this day is that you don't feel like you're working out in isolation. You're working out with others and their energy pushes you to do your best.
You mentioned the word community. Would you go as far as say it's kind of in a way like a family, like a gym family?
Absolutely. I mean, I've made friends with people from the gym, which I don't think I would have done if I went to a chain and just walked in. I would have been kind of on my own. I wouldn't have talked to many people. But you get to know, especially if you kind of sign up for the same times, you kind of see a lot of the same people. And you start to become friends with them outside the gym. And we connect in different ways. We support each other outside the gym. We support each other during class. We encourage each other. We push each other. If somebody in the gym family or community has a need outside of the gym, people are quick to rally behind that person and help them out too. So, I mean, it's a gym, but it's really more than that. And I honestly believe that
Yeah.
you become part of a family.
Now, I'm guessing this question, a lot of what you just said is probably going to, come back a little bit in this question, but you've been there for 3 years and change at this time, right? A lot of people, when they join the gyms, they'll do what you did. They'll join day after New Year, right? And then they're done by March 1st, right? Like 2 months later. What has it been, if you were going to pinpoint like one thing or two thing, what's been that's kept you there that long?
I think it's honestly, besides the people, which is huge, you really get to know the people and enjoy the people. It's the trainers pushing you, the personal attention you get. Every workout, you get personal tips and pointers. You're never on your own. And I think the one thing that keeps it interesting is that the workouts first of all, they're different every day. You never do the same thing twice in a row.
Now, the other side of it too, we'll dive into, we'll switch gears. I'm guessing some of the benefits you'd seen, right? You'd gotten to that point where you felt like you were plateauing before you had joined. You wanted to push it, take it to the next level. So weight loss, I'm guessing, and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the main necessary focus going in, but you still ended up seeing some benefits and things along those terms. So I guess let's start with the biggest change benefit. What was that that you noticed since you've been there?
Well, first of all, maintaining the weight that I previously lost was huge because I think if I had not done something different, I would have eventually kind of got tired of the same thing. You can only go on a walk so many times before you're just all right. And so I think maintaining that weight loss has been huge. And then also, once I became better at the exercises, when I was a beginner, I was just learning the techniques. I was just learning the techniques for all the different kettlebell moves that we do. But once you master them and you kind of move up your weights, the weights that I'm doing now compared to when I first started are not even close. So now I've added some more muscle, some more definition, and more strength, core strength, and just that functional strength. That I think one thing I'm kind of interested in is I'm not as young as I used to be, and I want that functional strength when I'm older. You know, when I have grandkids or whatever, I want to still be able to lift them up and all those functional day to day things, lifting the garbage out, bringing the groceries in. Functional day to day strength is huge, and I think I've definitely seen a transformation in my overall makeup my body of just my I've got a lot more definition and muscle than I had before.
You notice if there's anything that you can do now that either you couldn't do before, not necessarily like lifting weights, but day-to-day chores or anything. Is there something that you can do now that's a lot easier than it was before that you even couldn't even do?
I mean, a lot of it is like I've got a big family where somebody's always moving, and so probably no joke, 3 4 times a year somebody's moving. So I find now that just moving couches around, or it's moving couches, lifting dressers is like so much easier than it used to be. And I know that's kind of not a day to day thing, but that's where I really notice it when there's those times when you really have to lift something heavy or helping somebody out, helping somebody move something, things like that. Those things are, a breeze now, where compared to before I was at the gym.
Yeah. You mentioned early before you joined, there's some confidence, right? With the weight loss, you gained some of the confidence. But if you notice, did that continue to grow as you were part of Iron Core with this whole process? As you had gotten stronger, you'd seen other benefits?
Yeah, absolutely. And just not even necessarily confidence projected out to other people, but just internal confidence with, oh, I was able to use this weight that when I first started, I looked at that weight and I never even thought I would pick that weight up and use it for this move. And even to this day, even today, I used a weight that I have not used before. So 3 years in, I'm still moving up in the levels. So that's, personal confidence for my personal challenge for my personal self where, um, you're doing moves with weights that are 20 pounds heavier than you were doing 6 months ago. You realize after that you're challenging yourself and you're seeing results. It's worth that hard work.
Had there been a difference in possibly since you joined sleeping patterns or managing like your teacher, right? So day craziness, like day to
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Did you notice some of those things have improved as well while you've been training there?
Yeah, because I'm doing the 6:30 classes, which you would think would make you tired for school, but it's exactly the opposite. So I find when I come and I do the 6:30 workout, the best feeling in the day is driving home from the gym to get ready to go to work. I've got more energy than I would have if I had just slept in, until an hour before school and gotten ready. So the doing morning workouts sets your day up. It gets you off to a good start. Energy levels are through the roof on your way home for the rest of the day. Sleeping as well. It does make a difference at night. You definitely get good night's sleep. Your body needs it. So I think subconsciously your body knows it needs that sleep at night because it knows you're going to do that workout the next day. So it
Right.
is helping with sleep as well. Yeah.
So would you go as far as say that this has been life-changing experience for you?
100%. I mean, I wouldn't be there 3 years later if it wasn't right. So it was the best move I made was to go there. I don't even know what would be different if I hadn't.
I want to talk a little bit about Rob and who he
Yeah,
is because you've been there for 3 years. You've gotten to know him pretty well. So
yeah.
obviously a trainer is helping you get results, but I'm curious to know who he is as a person. So let's kind of start there. If there give me a few words, maybe phrases that describe the type of person that he is.
You know what? The first word, if you were to ask me to boil it down to one word, I'd say passionate. And I think his hands are all over everything to do with the gym. Everything from the workouts, the signs, the app, everything all has Rob's fingerprints all over it. And I think that's what you get as compared to going to, a big chain, a Canada wide chain where he's there every day. The owner is actually the guy who's training you every day, who's checking in to see how you're doing, who's complimenting you, who's challenging you. Hey, why don't you use this weight instead today? And he's always got these little sayings and little tips as you're working out that you remember. Um, one thing it sticks with me from the very first week I was there. He was talking about, kettlebell workouts and the philosophy behind them. And he was talking about, how he was trained by, a Russian kettlebell expert. And the one thing he told me, he said, you don't go to a kettlebell workout, you go to kettlebell practice. And that I still think of that today, because what that kind of strikes me as is that you never perfect the workout. You're always getting better, improving your technique, challenging yourself to use a higher weight, things like that. So passionate is what I would say most. He's intense. He pushes you. He's all, and I mean all this in the best possible way. He's invested in you, not just, as a customer, but he wants that transformation. He wants you to improve and better yourself, inside and outside the gym.
Can you give me an example, maybe with yourself, or at least maybe what you've seen with other members, an example of how you can tell he really cares? I think you said he's there every day, but is there something that he's done that you'd be like, wow, I never would have thought that the owner or trainer or somebody would have done something like that?
A member at the gym who's got a daughter who's got some severe illnesses. So he decided to organize a fundraiser for it, and he did. I'm trying to remember. Believe it was 5,000 burpees. So he raised
Wow.
he did a challenge where we all, he said, I'll do the burpees. Well, he was going to do 2,000. But so many people donated money, he just kept upping the note. It was like $1 per whatever. And then eventually he ended up doing I believe it was 5,000, and he filmed it all. So it was all legit. And then, he presented there with the check. And that was something that was totally outside of the realm of the gym, which I thought was pretty amazing. So
Now, in getting to know people, right? People, you always learn a little bit about them. Now, are there any funny quirks or anything that's kind of funny that's just is like, yep, that's Rob?
he says, when we're in the middle of a tough workout, he'll say, remember those 3 words. I hate Rob. I hate Rob. And he wants us to chant it back to him. So I think and it's all in good fun. Nobody really hates him, obviously, but he will tell us, I want you to hate me. I want the workout to be so hard, and you challenge yourself hard that you say you hate me. But I mean, obviously we don't, but that's kind of his thing. He's even drawn a little picture on the punching bag. It's had his face, and it says "I hate Rob" on it. So yeah, those are it's the kind of the motto, right? I think some people even made shirts up, and
It sounds like since you can do that, you can poke fun at him. He's poking fun at himself, but it sounds like if you have to go to him or there's something that you need to talk to him about, maybe personally,
Mhm.
or connect with him, something that is maybe just a little bit of a deeper thing going on, that he's okay with that. He's open to that and he welcomes that. That's the sense I'm getting? Is that correct?
Absolutely. Like I said, I know he's the owner, he's the trainer, but I consider Rob a friend as well. I mean, if the gym were to close tomorrow, and I would be devastated first of all. But if it were to close tomorrow for whatever reason, I'd still consider Rob a friend outside the gym. He's not just the owner of the gym I go to. He's not just the trainer that puts me through a workout. He's a great guy. I know I've sent him messages through Facebook Messenger. He's sent messages, everything okay, he's, if mention you got a, sore shoulder, sore back, he's always reaching out, making sure is everything good, checking in with you, even on days if you're not at the gym for a day, is everything good? You're resting your shoulder and everything. You don't get that anywhere else. Yeah.
All right, so I've got two more questions for you. You
Yeah.
mentioned if the gym were closing, you'd still consider him a friend, but let's say if the gym were closing right now, and he's turning off his phone, he's turning off his email, like everything. And this is the last time that you could say anything to him.
Yeah.
Knowing it's the last time, what would you tell him?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, if I could talk to him, I'd say thanks for transforming me from 3 years ago to now. I wouldn't be where I am without him. Without his gym, without his personal training, without his challenges, without his little tips and tricks and sayings. And I would tell him that, I thanks for everything you've done for me for the last 3 years.
Okay. And then the last question. Let's say someone is looking to join and they're looking at a bunch of other places, but they're leaning towards Iron Core, but they're on the fence, right? They're 50-50.
Yeah.
What would you tell them to push them off the fence?
I'd say you become part of a family. So it's not just the workouts, it's the push, how we push each other. You get to know people, you encourage each other. you laugh together, you sweat together, you you yell out in pain together, but you really come together as a group. But it's also the people, the community, the trainers, Rob and Jen, how they're invested in you as an individual, whole person, and not just as a customer.
Well, awesome. Sean, great story. Really cool to see what your experience was like, not just while you're there, but prior to it, what led to it, all the decisions, how you've gone through it, and what's kept you there this whole time. And I think it's just been an amazing story. And I want to thank you for taking the time to come on, share that story. And I just want to wish you the best of luck in the future.
Okay, thanks. And I'm more than happy to talk about Iron Core for anyone who wants to know more.
Awesome. Well, you take care. Thanks, Sean.